The following podcast is a next level production.
What's going on, everybody? Ben Beck here, host of the podcast, bringing you another edition of the Spotlight series here on the Wilhelm podcast. This time around, I'm a little bit late. I'm going to freely admit that. I've got two coming your way. We've got this one, and then in the next couple days, you're going to be hearing another one. So within a couple days of each other, these are going to be being released. But I'm a little late. I had these conversations about 2 weeks ago, and I had some things come up where it took me a little bit of time to get them edited and such. So I apologize. You know, I did say I had these coming a couple weeks back, and it took me a little bit longer than I expected. And for that, again, I apologize, especially to these two gentlemen. This one in particular, if you're a gamer and you're a fan of the Red Dead Redemption games, you know this guy. You know his voice. He is Rob Wiethoff. He is the voice of John Marston from the Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, as well as Undead Nightmare, the DLC that came out for the first Red Dead Redemption game. I got the chance to moderate a panel with Rob Wiethoff and Roger Clark, who is the next conversation coming within a couple days. And it was an amazing panel. It was one of my favorites from the weekend at Fan Expo Philadelphia. I connected with these two guys. We exchanged information. I reached out. They were both more than willing to come on the podcast, and they were both incredibly generous with their time and very open, as a matter of fact. I mean, incredibly open in the things that we talked about, from career and family to aspirations and things like that. And I can't thank them enough for coming on. So these are follow-ups from my panel with them at Fan Expo Philadelphia. I hope to moderate another panel with them again later on down the road. But this time around, again, Rob Wiethoff, the voice of John Marston, voice actor, motion capture artist from the Red Dead Redemption games, the entire series, all three of the two main games and the DLC. Incredibly great conversation. I encourage you to follow Rob on Instagram, Rob_Wiethoff. That's Wiethoff. You'll see the blue check mark because he is certified. So I encourage you to follow him because he shares fan artwork and fan cosplays. He's incredibly humble and incredibly showing of the love that he receives from the fans. So if for nothing else, follow him for that. But he does throw out some really funny things every once in a while that it's great to follow. So I encourage you to follow him on Instagram. Enjoy the games, enjoy the conversation. Here it is, my Wilhelm Spotlight series with Rob Wiethoff. Gamers, unless you've been living under a rock, you know of and most likely have played the Red Dead Redemption games, Red Dead Redemption 2, Undead Nightmare, which is why the moment you hear him speak, you will recognize my guest just from his voice alone. He's a voice and capture performance actor who portrayed the main character of John Marston in Red Dead Redemption and returned to reprise the role in Red Dead Redemption 2. Please welcome Rob Wiethoff to the podcast. Rob, I'm so excited you're here.
Well, Ben, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on. And I was going to throw my voice, so I sounded like someone different. But then,
damn it. That's all right.
No, thank you so much for having me. This is great, man. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, you mentioned seeing each other again. I mean, we're doing this over Zoom, but for any of my listeners who, I've mentioned it in the past couple episodes, but for any that might not know, we met probably about a month at this point. I know it's been a number of weeks at Fan Expo Philadelphia. I had the opportunity to moderate the Red Dead Redemption 2 panel with you and Roger Clark. And I want to say, too, and just to kind of kick things off, I moderated a number of panels that weekend. And, as a panel moderator, you get excited for panels that you get the opportunity, guests that you get the opportunity to be on stage with. And I very rarely turn down panels, but if I don't know anything about it, I'll turn it down because I don't want to do a disjustice to the person that's on stage promoting their product or promoting themselves. So I didn't know a lot about you and Roger, but I'm a huge fan of the games. So when I got the opportunity, I was like, well, this will be a learning experience for me. I get to talk about the games that I love, and I get to learn about these two gentlemen. So in my research leading up to the show, I found a short film on YouTube called Finding John Marston. And let me tell you, that short film alone, just from learning what I knew about you in the 9 minutes that I watched, I could not wait to meet you.
Oh, man. Well, that's really very kind of you. Thank you so much, man. Well, first of all, I want to tell you, because this is the truth. That panel was one of the most enjoyable panels. You seemed very well prepared, and I really enjoyed it. You did a really great job. And who am I to say that? But I've done a number of panels, and for you to be able to, you threw out statistics. You talked about things that I thought, wow, that's interesting. Things that I thought I should know that, but I don't know. And I really enjoyed it, and you kept it moving and kept it interesting, and that was really cool. So thank you for that experience. And so as far as Finding John Marston goes, that was an interesting experience because there were two guys that came, really cool guys that came for a weekend to our house and just kind of followed us around with a camera. And there was no script, we just were going to see what happened and talk about whatever came up. And what's crazy about that is when you have cameras on you all the time, you kind of, you're just not yourself.
Yeah.
Because you think, I want to portray myself as this respectable person, and I don't want to look like an idiot or say something, whatever. But after a while, you get used to the cameras, and then you actually do become yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing about that is too, you're right. Like when you have those cameras pointed on you, you're never exactly yourself. But I had when the event came up, it's one of the things that I do as a panel moderator. Our panel was on Saturday. So on Friday, I came to your table and I introduced myself to you and I introduced myself to Roger so that we're familiar with each other and we're not total strangers when we're on stage. And one of the things that I do as a people watcher as well is I like to gauge how the person is interacting with their fans. And you are incredibly nice to your fans. And then I met you. You were incredibly nice to me. And at that moment, I was like, yeah, this guy is definitely who he seems to be on that video. So you don't come across in person as somebody pretending to be somebody else. Like anybody who watches that short, which I encourage people to do, and I'm actually going to link it in the show notes so people can check it out. You are exactly who you seem to be in that video.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. And I want to tell you, to be a guest at a convention, wherever it is, it's such a cool experience. And I am, I'm standing at a table and I'm meeting one after another people with smiling faces and funny or cool or whatever interesting things they want to share with me. It's a really cool experience, and I really appreciate it. I mean, I genuinely appreciate it. I guess maybe I'm in a unique situation because I live in Indiana, and most actors live in LA or New York or Chicago or wherever they live. Atlanta now, a lot of them. But when I'm not at conventions or when I'm not working on, I guess it's been years now. I think it's almost 4 years out, but working on Red Dead Redemption, I do construction work. I do concrete work. And the guys that I work with don't care at all that I'm a character in a video game. And it's really, it's something where I recognize that people took the time. They spent the money to get in the door, and they took the time to stand in line and come say hello. And that means a lot, and I appreciate it. So it's very easy for me to be genuinely happy about it. So Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I mean, and does it still surprise you that people are like excited to get in your line and to meet you and to get those autographs and things like that? Does it still surprise you?
It's I mean, I guess because I know what I was fortunate enough to be part of.
Mm-hmm.
I know the game is all over the world in the series. You know, I guess probably more people have played Red Dead Redemption 2 than have played Red Dead Redemption or Undead Nightmare, obviously. But I know how big Rockstar Games is, and I know how big Red Dead Redemption is. And so as far as, you know, people being interested in meeting someone from that game, that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, it is kind of unreal when people will stand there and take the time to introduce themselves and want a picture and stuff like that. It's really cool. And it's never going to get old. I hope it never ends. I know it will at some point, but it's it's wild. I've got this great balance between concrete work where I crawl around on the ground and sweating, and you know, I'm too old for that. I'm sore all the time. My body hurts, and then I go and have this whole different other end of the spectrum experience, and so I really appreciate it.
Well, and one of the things I loved about setting this whole thing up with you too was our email interactions back and forth with each other, was because, you know, like when I reached out to Roger's all for it. He's going to be coming on later, and he's a man of few words in his emails. I wrote out this whole thing about meeting him and wanting to do the podcast, and he was like, his first response was, "Sure, I'll do it," and that was it. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, in that world, like with a number of my other guests that I've had on, it's going through publicists and going through everybody else to schedule. And then, you know, you were generous enough to give me your email after the panel, or, you know, at the end of the show, and we started coordinating. And your first email back was, you were very generous and very excited to do it. But in your email, you're like, but I work construction and, you know, so I'm mixing things and I have to juggle between cutting the grass and taking care of the family. And I'm like, I've never gotten an email back like this before, but I absolutely loved it.
Well, man, thank you. I guess for me, I know this is I appreciate you having me on here. This is a time commitment for you. This is a thing that you need to know. If I'm going to be there for you, are you going to be available? And I need you to know I don't have a lot of free time. I'm not doing something real interesting all the time, but I'm busy, you know, like we all are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, you're a family man. So you've got 2 boys at home. You've got your wife. I mean, you've got a lot of things going on. I know you mentioned it during the panel that you used to do a radio show, and you're kind of stopping that for a little while because of work picking up and things like that. So, I mean, yeah, we all have busy schedules. It's just a matter of what it is that's filling that time.
Yeah.
Yours is just a bit different than, you know, many other people in the industry. But that's one of the things that I really find endearing about you, is you really are. And I don't mean this in a detrimental way at all. You really are an everyman. Like, you know, you're putting in the, like you said, the elbow grease, you're down on your knees, you're getting the work done. And I that's incredibly endearing to me, because, you know, people who find success in an industry, they kind of forget about that kind of stuff in time, because they can get people to do it for them, or they live in a place where it doesn't have to be done.
Yeah, I get that. I've seen that. And you know, I guess the other thing too is, if you didn't kind of grow up doing some of this stuff, then you may not know how to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's not saying that that's wrong, but I just always was interested in construction. I did my first job when I was in high school. I was a framer. I worked for this framer. So we built a house, and I really fell in love with the process. And I've always kind of had, except for when I lived in LA and I was a bartender for the majority of the time, which was awesome too. But I've always kind of had a job in construction. I've just always really enjoyed it. And it's instant gratification. I mean, you don't build a house in a day, but you work hard all day long, and you can, as you're walking away from it, turn around and look and say, yeah, we got that done today. And so hopefully in most cases you feel pretty good about it, but I just like that about it. And it's easy to sleep at night. I don't feel like I'm doing anything, I guess, immoral to make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get it.
It's just whatever. Just get to work, get it done, and get to bed and get up and do it again.
Yeah.
Not real exciting, but it's consistent. So,
and it's gratifying, as you mentioned.
Yeah. It is.
Before we started recording, you mentioned that you and Roger headed to Lithuania for a show, and you kind of wanted to do a promo for it. I didn't find it until after we had done the panel, but you and Roger did a promo for Philly as well. And I need to know whose idea was that, because I didn't find it until last week. Like, I was going through Roger's Instagram and I was going through your Instagram, and I came across it on Roger's, and I'm watching it and I'm like, where are they going with this? And then at the very end, when you two come out with what is supposed to be cream cheese, but I'm imagining was maybe like shaving cream or something, I could not stop laughing at that promo. Whose idea was that?
Oh my goodness, it was ridiculous. It was a combo. I think I had come up with something about saying, in a Zoom type setting, saying like, "So you're excited to go to Philadelphia cream cheese?" And he's like, "What do you mean Philadelphia cream cheese? Philadelphia cream cheese. We're going to the convention." And he's, "It's not. It's just Philadelphia. The city's called Philly." And so we were going to do something stupid like that, and then I don't know where there was something about Vegemite and sea turtles that he said in the thing, but I don't know where he heard that ever before. He heard it somewhere, if it was a skit on SNL or what, I don't know. But he actually used shaving cream on his face, and I had Betty Crocker white icing, which was, by the end of it, we were still, talking afterwards, and he had wiped his off. He looked like he didn't even do it. I'm sitting there with my whole face.
You committed to the bit so hard, because even when Roger came out, it was literally just on his face. And when you sat down, it was slicked back in your hair. Like, you committed so hard to that. I think that's actually what made me laugh more than anything else, because then there was the follow-up with, well, maybe we should have waited till Philly to do this. And there's that awkward pause between the two of you, and you just, son of a bitch. Like, it's just, I was laughing so hard that I wish I had seen it before the show.
Oh my goodness, man. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, I mean, I think that Roger and I are two people that we understand that, and maybe I take this to heart too much sometimes, but that whole, however the phrase goes, where don't take yourself too seriously because no one else does. Mm-hmm. I think we both kind of enjoy that and kind of lean on that when we can, because what's the point? If you're trying to go and make people excited about going to this thing that you're involved with, and you have some kind of attitude about yourself because you're so proud of yourself, whatever, who wants to go meet you? You know what I mean? Who do you think you are? So, I think that we're both just kind of silly, kind of dipshit type people anyway.
And you know what? And that video alone, like, had I not already known I was going to meet you guys and do the panel and everything with you, I think had I seen that, like, even just as a con attendee, like not moderating, just going, had I seen that video alone would have made me want to get in line and meet you.
Oh man. Well, thank you. Hopefully we'll come up some good ones here in the future too.
I hope so, because I'll watch and I'll keep it going. I want to dive into Red Dead a little bit. How did Red Dead come about? Because like I mentioned, I watched Finding John Marston, so I got a little bit of the backstory. But for some of my listeners who may not know anything about how it came about, how did getting the job of John Marston, or getting the role of John Marston for Red Dead, come about?
Oh my goodness. So it's really wild. Rockstar is very, very secretive. Obviously, they and for good reason. I think they don't want anybody to spoil anything. I mean, they spend a whole lot of money to do a whole lot of work before they ever even cast anyone to play any of the roles, to build the whole world. And I mean, that takes years and a lot of work and a lot of effort. So I got a call from my agent. I was on my way home from, I think I was at work for like a daytime bartending shift that I had. I was driving back to my house in LA and it was raining and it was like November or December, I think, kind of cold, dark outside, and I needed to walk my dogs. And the agent said, you have a last minute audition in Santa Monica, which for me is like a half an hour drive with no traffic, but it's also kind of rush hour time. You know what I mean? So I thought, and I really, honestly, if I was quick enough, I probably would have tried to come up with an excuse to not go. But I was like, I gotta walk my dogs and then I gotta go. How long are they going to be there? Because it's going to take me an hour to get there from right now. And she said, yeah, just get there as soon as you can. Anyway, I go and I walk into this casting office, which is, first of all, full of all these guys dressed up in army, like camo stuff. And I thought, nobody told me. And not that I didn't even have that stuff anyway, but I thought, you said something about cowboy. I don't understand, whatever. So then I talked to the casting, the camera operator who gives me this sheet of paper that's got, a full page of dialogue. He says, memorize that the best you can. We'll get you in as soon as we can. It's crazy around here. Just memorize that. And so I'm looking at it thinking, oh my goodness. And it's this guy who's telling whatever the lady's name was, it's always good to see you. You know I love your apple pie. And something about, I'll be back as soon as I can, but the law's after me and I got to get out of town. And the whole time, so I finally get in there. I finally get in the room. I think I pretty well had it memorized, but they had a table with a bunch of clothes on it. And he said, I want you to fold these clothes as you're delivering the lines, deliver them direct to camera, and just pretend that you're having a conversation with this lady, whatever. So I'm doing it. And I don't know however long it took me to get through it. The camera operator, as soon as I got done, said, all right, that was great. That was really great. But it's not what they want. So here's what they want. Gave me some changes, whatever. And said, just mess up those clothes. And when I got to run out of the room real quick. When I come back, we'll do it again. I said, all right. So I got the clothes messed up. I'm looking at that sheet of paper again, trying to make sure I got my lines right. And he's gone for like 5 minutes. So at this point now, when he finally comes back in, I thought, I'm so ready for this now. I've got it memorized. I've folded these clothes 5 times, waiting for you. I'm ready, Well, so when he comes in, he's got another actor with him. And he looks at me like, oh my God, I forgot you were even in here. I mean, he clearly forgot that I was in there. I don't know why he left. But when he came back in, he brought another actor with him. And he said, hey, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. We got to keep people going. What you did was perfect. It'll be fine. Thank you for coming. And I thought, no, man. I thought to myself, no.
Yeah.
You don't know what I did to get here. And so whatever. So I left and I was polite, whatever. But I thought that was the biggest waste of my time. Well, so, all right. So thank God I didn't come up with an excuse to not go. And thank God that guy was wrong. He was wrong. He told me that I did it wrong. And I got a call from my agent. I don't know if it was weeks later or a month or whatever later, and said, remember that untitled video game project you went for? And yeah, what is that? We still don't know what it is, but you booked it. So they had me show up at the studio, which was in Santa Monica. And when I got there, I met some of the producers from Rockstar and met Rod Edge, who's our director. And they handed me this non-disclosure agreement, which was however many pages, really thick. And I signed it and I said, okay. And so they said, okay, so now that you've signed that, here's what it is. and this is what you're going to be working on. And so from that point on, it was a whole different world opened up to me. And I've honestly enjoyed every second of it, even until this very moment. It's been so overwhelming.
Yeah. Cause I think you had, before that, you had done a couple minor things, including commercials and things like that. So how was it that, when you got the part and realized it, like when some actors go for the audition and they finally get that big break, it's a movie role or it's a television role, that break for you was motion capture in essence, which is a completely different world from what a lot of other actors experience for their big break. So you kind of got thrown into a completely different ocean for that first time for you. Was it overwhelming, not only the amount of lines and dialogue and acting, but having to wear the motion capture suit and everything? Was it a little overwhelming for you to dive into that at first?
It was, and it also wasn't. It was kind of one of those things where I was very honest with them, and I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done this before. And they were very cool about it, made me feel very comfortable about it. Said most people haven't. So you're going to be fine. We'll get through it. Don't worry about that part of it, that wearing that suit. And there was a crazy helmet that you wear that held a camera out in front of your face with a light on it. So when everything was turned on and when you were actually doing the scene, at first you were kind of like, you want me to just act natural.
Nothing about this is natural.
Right. But I mean, you do it for however long, and you honestly forget that you're in a motion capture suit. You forget that there's a light pointing in your face with a camera. It all disappears because you're focused on what you're actually there to do, which is to perform the scene. And but again, the understanding and the support from Rockstar. They are so good at what they do, and it's like they know all of the psychology. They know how to make everybody feel comfortable and to really just find a way to do what it is that they were cast to do, and it's such a cool experience.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say the thing that you talked to about how I fell into it. Yeah, I never wanted to be in a video game. That was not my goal. And the only reason I say this, I'm so glad that happened. But so many people will ask, how do you get involved in this? How does this work? How can I become a voice actor or a video game actor? And the truth is I have no idea, but I would say that if you want to be an actor, be an actor. And then you can cover the voice acting work. You can cover the performance capture work. You can cover the on-screen, the theater, all that. Just be an actor. So hopefully if anybody has that question, that just answered it for you.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been somebody because I started out, one of the similarities that you and I have is you do that bit in radio for a while that, hopefully I hope you go back to, because I didn't get the chance to catch it this time and I didn't know about it. So hopefully if you go back to it, I'll get the chance to listen. But that's how I got my start as well. I started as a weekend warrior at a radio station here in Philadelphia, and then which eventually led to podcasting and then moderating and such. So I've always wanted to dive into the idea of doing voice acting, because I've always said if I ever became I've worked on movies in the past, I've done background work and things like that. But I always said if I ever became successful in movies, I would not consider my career over until I did the voice of an animated character. Yeah. And now I've gotten to the point where I kind of I signed up for, I don't know if you're familiar with Backstage at all, which has a lot of different gigs that are posted constantly. So I figured, I was like, it doesn't hurt if I submit some kind of audition for something. If I don't get it, at least I tried. Yeah. And, I took the opportunity, I took the chance to do it.
Yes. That is the thing that so many people aren't willing to do. And I love it that you're doing it. And you have the right attitude about it too. Absolutely doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt at all. If nothing else, it's more practice for
exactly
what down the road.
It makes you better the more you do it.
Yeah. You become more comfortable. You become more familiar with taking notes and changing things and whatever the case may be. But there's a very big difference between people who anybody can say that they want to be an actor. Are you willing to try? Mm-hmm. Are you going to try? Because you have all the opportunities as everybody else. Are you going to try?
Yeah. It's it's one thing to have the want to do it. It's another to have the drive.
Yeah.
And you've got to push forth. It's not just going to happen to you. I mean, the occasions where someone just randomly discovers you and makes you a star are slim to none. You've got to put in the effort to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to intimidate anyone in any way. I'm just not. But I think that it's important to know, what you just said, the chances of somebody who's in a position to make you a movie star, just finding you at a restaurant or something and saying, hey, would you be interested in being a movie star?
The way you just served me that plate, it screams at me. I'm going to make you a star. You're going to be my next star. So, that just things like that don't happen as often as people think they do.
No.
So you've got to put in the effort. Yeah. When you found out it was a video game and moreover a Western video game, did you do anything to prepare for it? Like, did you go out and set and make sure that there were particular Westerns that you watched or any kind of series that are set in that time? Like, what was your preparation for the role?
I didn't. I honestly, no. I didn't. I was in love with the movie Tombstone.
I am too.
I loved that, and I did get into like, all right, now I want to watch all of them, and I did kind of go down that path well before I ever had any idea I was ever going to be part of some kind of a production that has anything to do with a Western. But I guess they're really the thing about this is the craziest thing about the role of John Marston in Red Dead Redemption. Actually, in Red Dead Redemption 2, for me, it was this way through the whole entire process. For other people, it may have been different, but I was given the script only in small sections. And the sections that were given to me were not in order. So I really didn't know who John Marston was.
Yeah.
We got so far into it and I thought, okay, he's still grumpy. He's still,
yep.
But they, I don't know. I don't know if they were, who knows why the script was presented to me throughout all of the production I ever did in sections, as opposed to just getting all of it at once where I could read through and be like, I know who this guy is. That wasn't the case. I would be given direction by the director and I would do the best that I could to say the lines the way he just told me to say them. And we'd do it until I got it right. And then, like I said, over time, I'd started to realize who this guy was, but it wasn't like, it really wasn't. Here, I want to add this too. I wasn't a gamer. I'm still really not much of a gamer. So when he would tell me, the director would reference GTA because he was the director of that as well. And that's obviously Rockstar Games. He would say, in GTA when they would do this and this and whatever. And I would pretend that I knew.
I love it. This is in Finding John Marston too, and I love this story.
Yes, I thought if I act like I don't know, then they might get upset with me and think, "Who this is? We hired the wrong guy or whatever." So at a certain point, I finally said, "I haven't played it. I have no idea what you're talking about." But eventually, they were like, "Yeah, we knew all." But it was, I just really, and thank God. Rod Edge, the director, who's been the director of everything since who knows when for Rockstar, but a genius, obviously, just walked me through every step of the way, and he didn't ever act like he was upset about it in any way, and it made it easy. And but I people say you perform that role so well. And I say, thank you, because that's a really nice compliment, but I can't really take credit for it. And I didn't prepare for it. I was told what to do and I did it right away. And if I did it wrong, we did it until I did it right. So that's kind of how it went, honestly.
And that's really interesting too, that a character like John Marston, as you're playing him, John Marston, you're playing him and he kind of it's really interesting to hear that the character was constantly adapting, not only to Rockstar most likely, but to you as well. And because as an actor, you have to adapt to that too, especially with everything being out of order the way it was, the way you mentioned that it was.
Yeah, definitely. It was, but I want to say this too. So this was something that I really noticed, probably more so in Red Dead Redemption 2 than I did in Red Dead Redemption, but definitely true. So when you're the playable character, the person who's playing the game is with you all the time. They're walking you around. They're in every conversation that you're in. When you meet another character in the game, you want to know about that character. You don't want to know more about John Marston. You already know him. So in a lot of these conversations, whether it be with Landon Ricketts or any of these characters that were in Red Dead Redemption, if you go back and watch some of these scenes, you'll see that John will say, "Sure," and then that character will go on for another 30 seconds of dialogue, and John will say, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And then another 45 seconds of dialogue from the other character. So it was a lot of just listening and reacting however they told me to do for these other characters. Truthfully, I didn't have that much, I was developed through the interactions that these other people put these performances on for.
Yeah. And that's an interesting take too. I never even really thought of it that way. I mean, and in that sense, when you look at it that way, you actually learn more about John in Red Dead Redemption 2 rather than Red Dead, because one, it takes place before Red Dead. But two, you're right. He is not the playable character. So you are actually hearing more of his dialogue and you are learning more about John in Red Dead 2 than you are in Red Dead 1.
Yeah. Yeah. And I learned more about John. I mean, I had an idea, right? Like I knew he had parents that died and he was in an orphanage. He ran away, fell in with the gang. And I knew what I knew, but I didn't, there was way more to it. And it was interesting to learn about, and it explained a lot, and it was fun. What a cool experience.
Yeah. I know you mentioned earlier you're not much of a gamer, but I'm confident you had to have played Red Dead at least once it came out. What was it like? What was your first experience like playing that and like hearing your voice coming out and seeing? I mean, the characters don't look exactly like each other, but right. It's your voice. There's no mistaking your voice coming out of there.
Right. Well, so I guess it's it was really weird to see to kind of see it all and hear it and John, the way he moves, and that's I made him move that way. Like I hate the way that he runs, which means I hate the way that I run, but I've never seen my run really. So I didn't know until then. But like when you listen to your outgoing voicemail recording and you think, no, I got to do that again. That sounds terrible. That's not what I sound like, is it? I think everybody experiences that when you hear your own voice. It's just, you're like, oh, no, I don't sound like that all the time. So
it's one of the reasons why I don't listen to my own podcasts. It's that exact reason. I listen to it when I edit, but I don't go back and re-listen to it later unless I have to. Right.
Yeah. I get it, man. Well, yeah. So I will, one of these days I do want to start, and I guess I would start at Red Dead Redemption 2 from the very beginning with my kids. And I've got twin boys and they're busy, doing their thing. So we just haven't had time to just sit down. And I guess you don't do this overnight. It would take a lot of time to get through the whole series, but I would enjoy doing that at some point. And I guess the time just hasn't been right yet for any of us. But the other thing that's really fascinating about the game is that I would see a scene in the game and I knew what it looked like in production, which is obviously very, very different than what it looks like in the game. I remember what the characters actually looked like and them in their performance capture suits and us trying to walk around like cowboys and be real tough and whatever. And then what the world looks like, what that house actually looks like inside and all the crazy stuff like that. That was really cool to see how it actually looked,
and how they created the world around everything that you did.
Yeah. Because when you're doing it, there's none of that stuff is there.
Yeah.
None of it. So
I'm really curious because one of the things about Red Dead before Red Dead 2 even came out, one of the things I got excited about, I'm a huge zombie nut. So the idea of Undead Nightmare coming about, like they're releasing downloadable content and it's Red Dead, but it's during there's zombies there. Like obviously you had to come back to do more work for that. How were you getting that call? Like, wait, you're doing what to the Old West? Like how was that?
Well, they so it wasn't that long after Red Dead Redemption wrapped that they called me and said, hey, we've got more work for you for Undead Nightmare. They explained it to me a little bit and said they said this time we're not going to shoot it in LA, we're going to shoot it in New York. So
a little closer to home.
Yeah. And you know, when we shot in LA, I actually lived in LA at that time. But as soon as Red Dead Redemption was over, I thought, okay, I think I'm done. I just had the experience of being an actual working actor, not just doing a commercial and then being unemployed again for whoever knows how long. But to have that experience and I enjoyed it. I loved it so much, but I also knew there was no guarantee I was going to ever get it again. And my wife and I were talking about getting married and having kids. And I thought, I don't want to do this and be a bartender or whatever. So we moved back to Indiana and got real busy getting married and having kids. And then they called and said, let's do this Undead Nightmare thing. And it was completely unexpected, but I loved it so much because I got to go back and hang out and work with these awesome, fun, cool people. And so it was funny. It was funny in Red Dead Redemption too. I mean, the game can be pretty rough, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But on set, it's just people laughing and having fun and making fun of each other. And it would get intense, but never like between each other. It would just be intense for the action, whatever. For Undead Nightmare, it was insane because we had all these people being zombies. Yeah. And some days they would have scenes where they didn't have enough people to be zombies. And if I would be there but not be in the scene, they would make me be a zombie because they could make the avatar look like however they want, right? They would say, just don't say anything. Don't make a sound because it'll sound like John, and don't walk like John, walk like a zombie or whatever. And I would say, all right, whatever. So I would do it. And I'd feel so ridiculous doing this. And then as soon as they would say cut, they would say, you're so terrible. You're the worst zombie in the world. You're ridiculous. I thought, I knew it. It was awesome. It was so much fun.
That sounds like a blast. I wonder if Rockstar would ever, I don't know if they've ever done this, but I would love to see Rockstar release like almost like a documentary or a making of those games. So we get to see a lot of that behind the scenes stuff that, you know, you guys talk about, you know, whether it's on a podcast or on panels. I would love to see some of that stuff.
Oh man. It would be fascinating for people to see. I think I would love it too. I don't want to see any of me. I would love to see, because again, then I'm like, oh no, that looks exactly like me because it is whatever. I think it would be fascinating. And I think it would truly, I think that people don't really care to know whether we did performance capture or we just voice acted over animation or whatever. I don't think people care. Maybe they are more interested now because the industry has gotten so much bigger and it's just become like so many different, like they're doing performance capture in movies for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because they can, you know, and maybe now it would be more interesting for people who do care. What does that actually look like? I think a lot of people are just satisfied with, hey, your voice is cool, and you really matched it up well with that animation, and they think that that's what you did. And I think, you know what, you're giving me a compliment, so thank you. And if you don't care, I don't know that I need to explain it to you.
If you're happy, then I'm happy. Like it's, you know. Yeah, I mean, so like you mentioned, you know, right after Red Dead, you moved back to Indiana, you know, with your wife, you know, and the kids. and you kind of stepped away from everything until you got the call for Undead Nightmare. The telephone call for Red Dead 2 comes about. Easy decision to jump back into it, or did you have to take some time to think about it?
Okay. At first, I thought it was going to be like 2 or 3 days, because on Undead Nightmare, they had someone, and I don't remember what the guy's name was, but a previous GTA playable character, I think he was, came and worked on Undead Nightmare, not as the character that he played in GTA, but just as some random, real character-y type person in the game. And it was kind of like they even said to him, like, this is fun, and I'm glad that we did this, and hopefully we'll get to work with you again at some point, but this was great. Hopefully you enjoyed it, whatever. And it was just a way for them to work with this guy that they really liked, again, for 3 or 4 days. And it was a cool experience, and the guy he really loved it, and it was fun. So when they called me, I thought, because I know the story of Red Dead Redemption, I thought, oh, well, yeah, this is some game that has nothing to do with Red Dead Redemption. You just want me to come and play some role that has nothing to do with John Marston, and we're going to hang out for a few days. And yes, I can't wait. Let's do it. When are we doing it? Well, so then as time went on and I got more information about it, then I knew, yeah, I'm ready. I will go. I will do whatever you want me to do. I know that I love doing all the work. I love all you people. But it was different then because I had a wife, and at that time, like, I think they were probably 2 years old, twin boys. And my wife, being relocated from Los Angeles, where she grew up, to a small town in Indiana. And now I'm the one who knows everyone, but I'm going to say, okay, we've got these 2 kids now, and I'm going to leave. I'm going to be leaving a lot to go to New York for weeks at a time to go work on a video. Ultimately, it was not an easy decision.
Yeah.
Because of all that. And that wasn't just because of her. That was because of me too, thinking like, I don't know how this is going to go. This is not fair. And it's, a lot of things, but as time went on, we got used to it, and it became normal. And of course, now, if they asked me to be part of something else, and it was going to take as long as Red Dead Redemption 2, we would just move to wherever it is that they're shooting, so that we wouldn't have to be a part. Because, yeah, I'm gonna do it if they ask me. I'm not gonna say no.
That's good to know, because that's actually one of the things I was curious about. Is because of the process of Red Dead 2 and Red Dead 1, and like you said, you are the family man now working at home. I was going to say, like, do you have any of that inclination to kind of return to it if the opportunity ever arises? And not just a video game, but even just acting in general, like something in front of a camera, like maybe, I mean, I don't know about anybody else out there, but I would love the idea of, like, there's all these different resurrections of animated series. And I know they just recently announced that Married with Children is getting an animated series with like the cast coming back and doing the voices. Maybe if Netflix ever decided to do a run of like an animated series set in the world of Red Dead Redemption, like if something like that ever arose and they said, hey, Rob, do you want to come portray John for this animated series? Would you do it?
Well, I mean, I guess there's a lot to that, obviously, with Rockstar. Rockstar owns John Marston. I don't own the rights to John Marston. So that, of course, if they were cool with everything and they were part of it and supported it, yeah, I would love to. I would love to. I think so. Like right now, I'm not submitting myself for work like you said that you are. I'm not actively doing that because. So my kids they're 10 now, but from 2, when I started traveling to New York, and when I say traveling to New York, I would be there for 3 weeks at a time usually. And at first, when I started going, it might be a couple months in between those 3 weeks that I would shoot. Then I would be back home, hanging out, and being a husband and a father to my kids and being part of it and being, here present. But it got to a point where I was in New York for 3 weeks and I was home for 2, then back there for 3. And it went on like that for 2 solid years. And then it kind of spaced out again towards the end where I wasn't there as often. But it just, now that I'm home and I'm not traveling, it means a lot to me. And I know that it means a lot to my wife, and it means a lot to my kids to have me be home. Mm-hmm. Because for 5 years or 4 years or whatever it was, I wasn't here. So when I started, they were 2. When I finished, they were 7. Now they're 10, but still, I mean, I missed 5 years of being around all the time. And I'm not in a big hurry
to do it again.
To do that again.
Yeah.
Like I said, if it were something that I knew was going to be consistent and guaranteed, we'd just go to where that is. And then we don't have to be apart,
Yeah.
So, but I love the work. I love it. And I'm so fortunate to have been exposed to it and to work with the people that I have. And it's really inspiring to be around a group of people who are so motivated. And at Rockstar too, they're cool with each other. They're cool with all the actors, kind of because they have to be in a lot of ways, but they're cool with each other too, which makes you think, yeah, you're just genuinely cool people. And so to be around that atmosphere, and you learn a lot, you learn how to do that when you're not there, how to be a cool person in your other job.
Yeah.
To every other person, and so it's inspiring and motivating, and I love it. And I love the challenge of the work too.
But I mean, basically, to kind of sum up, you would be the point that you're at right now. If a good job came about, like that was, like you said, consistent, and you had the ability to do it, like you said, moving your family, you would take it. But if nothing like that ever does come up, you are perfectly content with the family and the life that you have. And
yeah, I guess with the family, yes. With the life that I have, I don't know that I'm content. I don't want to do concrete for the rest of my life.
I don't know if anybody can do concrete. Like, I think you can only do it up to a certain point before your body just doesn't allow you to do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't. But I guess, yeah, it has been very enjoyable being here with my family for sure. That part of it, I wouldn't trade that for anything. So yeah. It's hard to get a taste of the excitement of production and the challenges that are presented, whether it be with your character or whatever. I guess that would be the challenges that are enjoyable, I guess. But it's hard to experience that and then just say, yeah, I don't need to ever do that.
Yeah.
I think I always wanted to do it, But
well, I mean, that whole idea, that whole thing I mentioned about maybe Netflix and Rockstar getting together to do an animated series of Red Dead, that was kind of a backdoor pitch that if Rockstar is listening, I kind of want that to happen. And the beauty of that is you can set up a nice recording studio in your home and you don't even have to move. You can do it right from there in Indiana. So it's like we get John back. We keep Rob in that dream of working. We get more Red Dead, and everybody's happy.
Oh, that would be awesome, man!
Right?
Yeah, I really would. I would love that. I would do that in a second, of course. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's like it's the best of all worlds coming together right there. You still get to travel and do conventions. You're home with the family. We get more. You get more. Everybody's happy. Let's just put this in Rockstar's mailbox as soon as we're done. We'll get this working. I'll get a production credit and I'll be happy.
All right, man. Right on.
Yep.
I love
it. Speaking of, going back to like the convention life and everything and such, you've been doing them for a number of years now. When you travel, like you get to travel a lot with these conventions. Like we mentioned, you're going to Lithuania with Roger to do a show, which I didn't even know that was coming. And when you told me that, I was kind of like, wow, like I didn't know there were conventions in Lithuania. So when you get to travel to all these different places, are you the kind of guy that when you get there, you like to go out, you like to see what the city has, or are you kind of like, I'm just going to chill and decompress after being on the floor for a number of hours? Like, how are you when it comes to traveling for these shows?
It's, I guess it kind of depends, honestly. And it's, there. So the people that there's a booking agent that I have. His name is Jeff Zanini, Celebrity Talent Booking.
I know Jeff Zanini.
Yeah. He's got so many great clients. And so he travels all over the world with shows, and he knows so much about all these places that we go. He's got his favorite restaurant in every city, and he likes to take us and show us what he knows. And I do love, we call it family dinner on Saturday nights. Usually we'll go to a place that the people that have been there before have said, yes, this is the place that you want to eat in this area, in this whatever. And so I really enjoy that. We get to hang out and enjoy a great meal, usually, whatever the case may be, and see cool stuff, whatever that the city has to offer. But the majority of the time at these conventions, you don't want to go out and get real crazy. I mean, Roger and I definitely, we want to do that. And the first couple conventions we would show up on Thursday night and we would hang out and enjoy a night together as friends. And then Friday morning, the very first day of the convention, we'd wake up and think, woo, and then we learned, it takes a lot of energy, and we want to be respectful and give back to the people that are giving so much to us. And so we don't want to be exhausted and hungover or whatever the case, so we kind of take it easy, honestly. And there have been some cool, so we went to Birmingham in England, and then the following weekend we were in, I can't remember the name. It was Wales Comic Con, but it was in Telford, which is in England and not in Wales. But because we traveled all the way over there, and these were a week apart, we stayed instead of flying back home and then flying back over there again. We stayed in this area called the Brecon Beacons, which is in Wales. And it was Roger, Peter Blomquist, who plays Micah Bell, and it was Jeff Zanini and another guy named Ian who works with Jeff.
Yep, I know Ian as well. Yep. Yeah,
I can't think of his last name, but really cool guy. The five of us got a cabin way out in the middle of nowhere and hung out. There was nothing out there but sheep. And we were just like, what in the world? We traveled into whatever city. I think it was Cardiff. We went to we call it soccer, but a football match. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Did I lose you again?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, sorry. My computer's doing weird things. But we had a great experience and saw some really, really cool things in England. And so, if we have the time, of course, it's great to see all these cool places that we go to. But in a lot of cases, like in Philly, I think I saw, what was immediately around the outside of our hotel. Mm-hmm. And then went out to dinner one night, but saw the inside of the convention center and the inside of my hotel.
Well, hopefully you're in Philly again, since that's where I'm from. And, I know if Fan Expo brings you back in or another show brings you back in and I'm there, I'll take you to some places.
Awesome.
While you're there. Because I know as far as Fan Expo goes, I know you mentioned, you do other shows outside of Fan Expo, but I know you and Roger are going to be in Denver. I don't know when I'm going to be. The only Fan Expo show I know I'm going to be at next is Boston, which is August. I don't know if you and Roger are going to be there as of yet. Again, it's still a couple months away, but I'm sure it's not the last time I'm going to see you at a show.
Right.
Especially with me working with Fan Expo a little bit more. when you go to these shows, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but when you go to these shows, do you ever look at the guest list, and is there ever people that like you get excited to see are going to be a guest at these shows with you?
Yes, I do every time. Every time I do, and I think, oh my goodness, this is so cool. Well, and this is what's really cool about it too. We go into this area when we're not on the floor. We go into this area called the green room, which has just a regular table, and that's where we eat and just relax, hang out. And it would be a great time to introduce myself to all of these famous people that I would love to meet, but then realize, I don't know. I don't think I can do doing that. I can't stand it. I want to tell you. So my wife and I, and this has gone on for years now, we go to bed and we turn on The Office, and we just put it on and put on sleep timer. And it's like it's our comfort show, and it's like a sound machine, like it's just, you don't have to, every now and then I'll hear her giggle at something and I think, I know we've seen this 10 times, but it's still funny, whatever. But so I've been at several shows where people from The Office have been there, and I've wanted so many times to say, I'm probably your biggest fan. I promise you, I love your show. I love it. But I think I can't do it. Well, so finally in Philadelphia, I was walking around. It was a Sunday. It was kind of winding down. The whole convention was kind of winding down at that point. And I went out to just walk the convention floor because I hadn't actually seen it. I'd only seen what I could see from my table. And as I was walking back around to get back to my table, I noticed that there was, and now I can't think of her name.
Kate Flannery. I know exactly who you're talking about.
That's exactly right. Thank God you saved me.
I moderated Kate's panel that weekend in Philly.
Oh, I'm sure it was awesome.
And see, had I known this already, I would have made the introduction between the two of you before the random circumstance of it happening.
Well, it was one of those things where honestly, I don't know that I would have had the guts to walk over to her table even then, but there was so few people there. There were so few people there at that point. I was kind of walking and just wandering and looking like, oh, that person's here. I didn't even see that. I didn't see that person, whatever, but, and then I was walking by and I saw her table and she was there with her handler, and she said, pretty busy for you too, huh? Like some kind of a comment to me. And I thought, oh, no. So, I said, oh, yeah, I know, whatever. This is, I guess it's, Sundays. But I got a chance to talk with her, and I did not tell her that I fall asleep to her show every night.
You should have. She would have appreciated it. Kate's the best. She's from Philly, so.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So she was in her element because she was home. So I mean, she lives in LA now, but she's from Philadelphia. Yeah, and I moderated her panel as well. So the moment you said, well, in Philly, I was like, oh, he's going to talk about Kate, because Kate was the only one from The Office that was there. Yeah. And I'm right there with you. I fall asleep to, there are one of 3 shows that I fall asleep to every night. And I kind of have a playlist that I just put them all in, and I literally just hit shuffle. So whatever episode comes on, and it's The Office, Parks and Rec, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine are the 3 shows that like literally are playing when I'm falling asleep, and I just fall asleep to those almost every night. So awesome. I feel you completely when you say like The Office is your dream machine.
Yeah.
Because I get it. I totally get it.
It's so
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's totally fine. Has your wife ever come with you to shows before just to kind of see what you experience all the time?
She hasn't. And I think, I don't know. She kind of grew up, her parents. Okay. So her mom and dad are divorced, but they both got remarried. And so when she was very young, and so she kind of had 2 moms and 2 dads, right? I mean, she knew which ones were the biological, but the others were very, very involved and very much a part of her life. So like her stepdad, he's been in movies his entire life. He's a DP, and like his resume is outstanding. He's worked all over the world he was the cameraman for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, wow.
He's so well involved, and successful in the industry that for her, it's kind of normal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she knows that I've had some success, but she knows what success actually looks like because she grew up with her. And her dad, he still is in advertising and worked with video game companies a lot. So she knew a lot about this world that she actually taught me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And now, like with the convention stuff, I don't know that she's actually been to a Comic-Con, but she's like, well, so what am I going to do there? Am I just going to stand there and what? I'm like, whatever you want to do. I don't know. Come. If you don't want to come, don't come. It's kind of like, I don't know. I guess I've always considered it kind of like, I've been invited there as a guest. I have a responsibility to be at my table. I can't just run off with you and go check things out. I'm there for a reason. It's kind of, it's not a job. You could never call it a job, but I have responsibilities. And so I think she's kind of always looked at it as, you know, she did say, if I ever go to London, she's going because she wants to go to London. She doesn't want to go because I'm going.
Oh, well, she could travel with you and just go sightseeing while you're doing the show.
Yeah. She's in love with London and she's never been there. I don't know what she loves about it so much. But so if I go to London, she'll be there somewhere in London, not with me.
She just wants to go to London because she wants to see where Nellie Bertram from The Office comes from.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Must be what it is.
Rob, you've been so generous with your time. I don't want to take up too much more of it. What is, if anything, what does the future hold for you right now? Anything immediate, like as far as like con appearances or anything like that you can let people know about?
Yeah. You know what? Okay. So Lithuania, I don't know when this podcast airs, or webcast.
Within a couple days of us recording it. So it'll be up before that Comic-Con in Lithuania, because you said that's next weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be up before then.
All right. So yeah, looking forward to Lithuania. That's going to be awesome. Roger and I will both be there from, I guess it's the 21st and 22nd, Saturday and Sunday. So if you're in the area, please swing by. Then going to be in Orlando, and this is.
Are you doing MegaCon?
No, it's the GCX.
Okay.
It's a fundraiser, and it's for St. Jude Hospital. And
oh wow,
it'll be so awesome. And I don't know exactly how it works. As far as like, I don't know if people can buy tickets or what the deal is. And I wish that I'm looking for this info on my phone right now because it was sent to me, and I haven't made a post about that yet because I still haven't made a post about Lithuania.
You're still waiting on Roger.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's coming up. I'm really excited about that. And then I'll be in Denver whenever Denver is. I'm going to be somewhere in September. Oh, Dragon Con in Atlanta.
Down in Atlanta. Okay.
I'll be there in September for 5 days or something crazy. I'm really excited about that.
Have you done Dragon Con before?
No.
I've never done it. From what I understand from people who have either been there or worked there, Dragon Con is just 5 days nonstop. Like it goes into the middle of the night, into the morning, because it happened. I think it's a hotel convention. Like it happens at a hotel. So, and the hotel never closes. Right. And everybody's staying in the hotel. So the party just never stops during Dragon Con.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. That's awesome. And then going to Scotland in November, I think. So, yeah. And we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes things pop up. And so there may be more things going on. But I'm going to be pretty busy in the next few months here traveling. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And hopefully, yeah, we can reconnect at one of these somewhere.
Well, I'm sure it'll happen again. I have no doubts it'll happen in the future. How can people follow you? What's your Instagram handle? Because I want to encourage people to follow you on Instagram as well. Because one of the things I absolutely love about your Instagram is you are always posting fan art and cosplay and everything. I mean, and that alone just speaks volumes about how much you love your fans. So,
man, well, thank you. Yeah, I do love it. I love it. It's just the set, somebody spent time doing that and had the courage to share it. And I love that. I think that's awesome. I wish more people had courage to share their talents. And I'm not saying that you have to, but there are a lot of really talented people out there who aren't aware. They're not aware how happy they could make people or how much they could inspire someone because they're not willing to share their work for whatever reason. But so the people that do, of course, I want to share it. I want as many people to see it as possible because I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
But Instagram, it's Rob _Wiethoff. And it's got that little blue thing by it.
You got the blue check. You're certified.
Yeah. And then that's really kind of all I do as far as social media goes. I have a Twitter, but I don't do it.
I'm the same way. I have a Twitter and I don't use it.
I don't know. I mean, I have Facebook, but I don't use it. I don't. So I think Instagram's enough. And now there's like the reels on Instagram, right? These little short. And so I'll go on there and I'll try and just keep up with my friends, the people that I actually know on Instagram, and I'll click on a video and then I go for an hour. I'm watching random videos and I think, I don't know any of these people. I don't know what's going on. I've watched this video 10 times, I think. I'm still here watching it. So
yeah, I do that too. I know there was one story that you posted. I think it was either like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I can't even remember. Did you posted a story about something about like the color of turtles or something?
Oh, what do a plum and a turtle? No, a plum and a rabbit have?
That's it. That's it. And I just remember watching that story. I'm like, what?
Oh no! What's the difference between a plum and a rabbit? That's what it is. And then
the punchline again.
Well, they're both purple.
Yeah, that was it.
The rabbit isn't purple.
Yeah. Yes. I just remember watching that story. I was like, what is he talking about?
You never know, man. You never know. On a Friday night after I've been cooked in the sun all week and maybe had a couple beers, I don't know what I'm going to say.
Yeah. But that's the best part. And that's why I want to encourage people to go and follow you on Instagram too. So, but Rob, again, thank you so much for being so gracious with your time, for giving me your contact info so we can set this up, for the very nice words you said about how great I was with your panel, and I'll mail you the check for $50 this week. No, and I do appreciate it. It does mean a lot. But yeah, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and coming on.
Well, Ben, thank you, man, for having interest in having me on. I really appreciate it. And I meant that. Honestly, you're good at what you do, man, and you need to know it. And so best wishes to you. And just, I mean, shoot, you'll do as much as you want to do. You can. You're capable of it. So enjoy it.
No, I appreciate it. To everybody else out there listening, please make sure you go and follow Rob on Instagram. Check out any appearances that he has. If he's in your area, go and visit him. Go and say hi, because I promise you will not be disappointed. But until next time, we'll see you on another episode of Wilhelm down the road. Take care.